Symbology of the Bible, Volume 2. The Queen of Sheba. The Queen of Sheba first appears in the Book of the Kings. 1 Kings 10 verse 1. And when the Queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. 2. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices, and very much gold and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart. It is interesting that she came to Solomon to prove him. The Hebrew is to test, which in English can be to prove by a test, such as the touchstone.
Nasa, 52-54. Nasa, a primitive root, to test, by implication to attempt, adventure, essay, prove, tempt, try.
Also in the Hebrew, concerning the name, is a translation that is not necessarily correct. The fame of Solomon to the name of Yahweh is the literal translation, but the meaning of name is an appellation as a mark or memorial of individuality, by implication, honor, authority, character. Etymology, a primitive word, perhaps rather from H 7760, through the idea of definite and conspicuous position. Compare H 8064. KJV plus base, infamous, fame, famous, name, named, renown, report. She heard that Solomon had a special position with Yahweh. He was a marked one, until his trespasses, that is. However, all have a chance for redemption. The queen came to ask him puzzles to see what his knowledge was, and when she was satisfied. 1 Kings 10 verse 4. And when the Queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built. 5. And the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent, by which he went up unto the house of the Lord. There was no more spirit in her. 6. And she said to the king, It was a true report that I heard in mine own land, of thy acts and of thy wisdom. 7. Howbeit I believed not the words, until I came, and mine eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. The Hebrew for spirit is the word for the spirit of a rational being, which we have seen before. However, in this context, the queen was actually a frog, in the sense of being surreptitious, like a spy, when dealing with Solomon, until she knew the truth about him. To wrap up her visit, 1 Kings 10 verse 10, And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices, as these which the Queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. 1 Kings 10 verse 13. And King Solomon gave unto the Queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, beside that which Solomon gave her of his royal bounty. So she turned and went to her own country, she and her servants. What could she want other than royal gifts? And where is Sheba? Some may ask. Per Strong, the word Sheba is
H 7614. Shiva. Sheba, the name of 3 early progenitors of tribes and of an Ethiopian district. Etymology, of foreign origin. KJV, Sheba, Sabaeans.
One of the progenitors is found here. Genesis 10 verse 7. And the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah and Sabta and Rama and Sabteka, and the sons of Rama, Sheba and Dedan. Some sources identify the land of Cush as on the southern border of ancient Egypt, as shown to the right. It was comprised of lower, upper, and southern sections. In fact, at one time, Kushite kings reigned over Egypt circa the 7th century BC. Below is a sculpting of one of the Kushite kings of Nubia, that was also pharaoh in Egypt.
Tantamani, also known as Tenutaman, was the last ruler of Egypt's 25th dynasty, often referred to as the Kushite dynasty or Nubian dynasty, due to its origins in the kingdom of Kush, modern-day Sudan. From https://worldhistorydo.com.
This would be about 200 years after the Queen of Sheba traveled to Jerusalem, given the time frame for Solomon's rule. But we know now that there was much interaction with the Nubians, Egyptians, Israelites, and other nations in the Levant. Also, the peoples of the region of Nubia and Egypt are considered to be closely genetically related to the people of the Levant, as learned in a previous article. Is it possible that the Queen of Sheba was in fact a child of Yahweh, an authority able to discern if Solomon was a genuine servant of Yah? First, it must be known that there were female rulers in ancient Sheba.
In ancient times, some of their rulers were women, who were sometimes referred to in ancient texts as Candaces or Candakes. From www.livescience.com.
Also, the wives of kings held the title of queen, so she could have been either, and if the latter, one of great influence. She would have been from the territory named after their founder, Sheba, grandson of Cush, in the land of the Cushites. A map of the area circa 500 BC shows a city named Suba, which could be Sheba, and it is in close proximity to the region known as Ethiopia. Also of note, directly across, on the Arabian Peninsula, we see an Arabian civilization. The area has traditionally been known as the location of the Sabaeans, which would be the descendants of Seba, Sheba's father. We have seen Jethro, a Levitical priest in the wilderness, the shepherd kings of Egypt, and the children in Egypt for generations. It is reasonable to expect that some of those continued with their traditions and even converted people in those areas. Another important verse immediately precedes the Queen of Sheba's introduction. 1 Kings 9 verse 26. And King Solomon made a navy of ships in Ezion-Geber, which is beside Elath, on the shore of the Red Sea, in the land of Edom. 27. And Hiram sent in the navy his servants, shipmen that had knowledge of the sea, with the servants of Solomon. 28. And they came to Ophir, and fetched from thence gold for 120 talents, and brought it to King Solomon. The Hebrew for Ophir is H211.
Ophir. Ophir, the name of a son of Joktan, and of a gold region in the east. Etymology, of uncertain derivation.
According to Bullinger, the Latin use for the word is Ophirica, which is Ophir with the Latin suffix -ica. This eventually became Africa, and reflects the understanding that Ophir was in fact in Africa.
The name Africa may have come from LF, plus, PH and R, with the Latin termination -ica. A fir on the Zambesi may also be connected with the ancient name. From the Companion Bible, page 578.
Also, the region of Ophir was known as a gold mining center.
Location: south of the Middle Zambezi River region, corresponding to Mount Fura, or Mount Darwin. Name origin: called fur by local populations and a fur by Arab traders. Gold trade, chronicled by 16th century Portuguese historians like Diogo do Couto and João de Barros as a rich gold mining area. From the AI overview.
While Ophir, or Fur, was farther south of the land of Cush it was a region of gold mining, not a city. Therefore, the gold mining areas of Nubia may have been referred to as a fur, meaning a lucrative gold mining region. Some of the gold mining locations in Nubia are shown on the map below. As can be seen, there were two major gold extraction centers in the land of Kush. And for the AI overview, the site near the fourth cataract of the Nile was massive.
Prime gold fields of ancient Nubia, the land of Kush, Upper Nubia, located further south between the second and fourth cataracts in modern Sudan, featured massive gold processing centers, tightly organized, near major pharaonic towns.
Also in the local language in the Afur region, Shona, fur translates to graze or feed. Thus, it means a grazing place. Furthermore, the Latin suffix "ica" is an adjective or descriptive, according to the UTA. Thus, a furica or a firica would be a word to describe a region as being like a fur or gold-producing. In any event, we can investigate the word's roots in Hebrew. Strong breaks it up as so. Ophir. One candidate for the first syllable is H188.
Oi. Oi. Lamentation. Also interjectionally O. Etymology. Probably from H183, in the sense of crying out after. KJV. Alas. Woe.
And for the second, there are a couple of candidates.
1. H6287. Pale. Fair. An embellishment, i.e., fancy headdress. Etymology, from H6286. KJV. Beauty, bonnet, goodly, ornament, tire. 2. H6286. Pearl. Far, to gleam, i.e., causatively, embellish, figuratively, to boast. Also to explain, i.e., make clear oneself, or explain oneself. Denominative from H6288, to shake a tree. Etymology, a primitive root. KJV. Beautify, boast self, go over the bows, glorify. Glorify self, glory, vaunt self. And the root of far. H6288. Pera. Farah, properly, ornamentation, i.e., plural, foliage, including the limbs, as bright green. Etymology, from H6286. KJV. Bough, branch, sprig.
A possible interpretation is, oh, the beautiful branch.